This is the training for Module 3. Module 3 is about objects and materials.
In Module 2, we looked at the students' journeys to school in the morning and what they did. In this module, we're looking at the things that they used in their routine and what they're made of, and looking at a bit of materials technology. Some of the things they use will be very simple, others are much more complex, and there are 3 activities in this one that are to do with sorting activities and grouping things in different ways. And so the very first activity, 3.1, is looking at what objects are made of. For this, we've chosen 4 different materials: wood, plastic, paper and metal. And the activity will require teachers to get a collection of things together for the students to sort. In this slide, you can see some of the examples of objects. In the resource, we've got lots of them listed, but these are ones that I found around my home. I didn't have to actually go out and buy any of these. So hopefully as teachers, you'll be able to find them at home or in the art room or just in your normal classroom. And you may need to have more than one example so that each group of students or each pair of students can have 3 or 4 objects made from each one of these materials. When you're discussing the different materials, the different objects and the materials that they're made from, it's a good opportunity for you to talk about describing words for each one of those materials. It's important that when you choose the objects that they're only made of one material, so not made of wood and plastic or metal and wood or something like that. So all of these things that I've chosen have only one material in them. At the end of the activity, we're asking you to give the students a pencil, the type that has an eraser attached at the end, and ask them to identify how many materials it contains. And there's actually 4. So there's the wood of the pencil, the metal that holds the eraser onto the end, the eraser, and the writing stuff, which is the graphite in the pencil. As extension activities, you could ask students at home to look for other objects that are made from more than one type of material and identify those. Now, going on to activity 2 in this module, we then have 2 activity sheets, or one activity sheet of 2 pages, which has a whole lot of simple line drawings of objects on it that they may have used in their journey to school today. And what we're asking the students to do is to identify one object and then add it to their flowchart from the previous activity. So for example, when they have to get dressed, you might put a pair of shoes, paste a pair of shoes next to the get dressed on the flowchart, as you can see on the example on this slide. The object sheet is 2 pages, and so there's quite a lot of different objects, and we'll be using them also in the next activity. You may consider cutting them out and laminating them, and then reusing these little object pictures just to save paper, but it's up to you as a teacher to decide what to do. In the 3rd activity in this module, the students make a 4-door book. They then group the activities according to different criteria. Now, what we've suggested is possibly 6 different criteria, and there's a slideshow that you might like to show the students to help with that. There are 6 different criteria suggested, but they only need 4 for their 4-door book. We might have a quick look at the slideshow now, and I'll show you what I mean by this. So for example, the first slide here doesn't have a heading on it, but you can ask the students to guess what it is that groups all of these objects together. And then the next slide, when you advance it, you can see the answer, that objects are all made from metal. So there's objects made from metal. There could be objects that, this one, objects that use electricity. And you can see that some of the objects turn up in more than one slide. So objects that move you places contains the bicycle, but also objects made of metal had the bicycle. So there's different ways of grouping these together. There's objects that you eat and objects that use water. The kettle turns up in 3. Objects that you wear. So this slideshow you can use to just inspire the students to sort the different objects. When they make the book, you need an A3 piece of paper, and there are instructions for how to fold it. On the front cover of each of the windows or the doors in the book, you write down what you're using to sort those objects. And then when you open them up, the students can paste in 3 or 4 objects that fit into that category. So they're learning how to sort different objects. So then with the 4-door book, once they've put the objects into the different categories, we then are asking the students to think about jobs that go with those objects and to write on the inside cover of their door, of their book, some different jobs linked to those objects. And there's a slideshow that can help you also undertake that discussion with the students. So we might just click on that link now. And you can see the sort, I won't go through all of them, but in the notes it explains what these jobs are. So objects that are made from metal, there are some different jobs there. Objects that use electricity. So on this, for example, on this one, the objects that use electricity, we've got an electrician, we've got a person who installs solar panels, we've got a computer programmer, and somebody who repairs power lines. And they're all explained. So we go through the 6 different categories. So we had objects that use metal, electricity, help you move, jobs that help you get the food that you eat, I beg your pardon, and jobs that help you get your water. And jobs that, the last one is jobs that help make the clothes that you wear. So again, it's this part is really just a discussion about different jobs. You may come up with other ones yourselves, and the students can write in some of the jobs that go with each of their object categories.
If you have any questions at all about this module, please don't hesitate to contact me at the address listed on the screen. And alternatively, you can link to the resources directly onto the website at that website address, and that will take you to all of the module program materials as well as all of the training videos.